afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, August 31st, last day of the month, 2022. A little after 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll be having a time for change call tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. To expound and propagate concepts is simple. To drop all concepts is difficult and rare. Isn't it about it? Every day along this amazing journey through this life, we get the opportunity to fine-tune our ability to make healthy decisions that empower and inspire our lives. Some decisions are easy and obvious to make, while others can feel like they're ripping our minds and hearts into 1,000 tiny pieces. When we reach one of these major life choice points and have to choose to step into that colossal crossroads, take the time to go through this process so that we can make the most enlightened decisions available to us. You remember the saying, my mother used to say this all the time, beggars can't be choosers. And I never, and I'm sure a lot of us at the time, never truly understood the profound depth of that message. And then beginning to understand the manifestation knowledge, it does become apparent that the more we feel demanding, needy, and lacking something inside ourselves, our bodies become more tense, vision become more cloudy, narrowed, and incapable of perceiving the infinite array of possibilities in this universe. So you realize that the more you begged for what you wanted, the less likely you would receive your desire, and the more challenging it became to relax and welcome in the happy, loving feelings that we were truly after. So you observe yourself in the decision-making process. You notice that your body would feel paralyzed, frozen, and contracted around certain choices, while in making other decisions, it expanded with joy as if it found the most liberating gift from this universe. You realize that what makes a decision self-empowering all depends on our perspective, how we are approaching our lives, our relationships with ourselves, and if we can see all the many possible outcomes and choices that can be made. Begin to realize that decisions are powerful teachers designed to force us to look inside ourselves, so we participate more intimately in who we are inventing ourselves to be. We are nudged into being the creators of our reality, designers of our destiny, and constantly invited to paint the masterpiece blossoming inside us on the great blank canvas of our lives. If and when we wish to take our decision-making ability to the next enlightening level, you start with the commitment to get to know yourself more intimately. If and when you can know who you are and what you really want in this life, this universe cannot just hand you the scrap decision leftovers that are stuck at the bottom of the barrel. If you don't stand up for what you want, you become like a child who cannot speak yet and simply accept whatever your parents give you. Make this decision right now that you will always be able to clearly articulate what you desire. This one simple choice contains so much potential power inside, it will transform your life in the most interesting ways. It's a big risk to go after what your heart truly desires in this life. So get to know why you want these things in this life. What is it going to give you when you experience it? If and when you had excuses that would stop you from receiving it, what would those be? Who we are in this life is not all about what we desire to manifest. Yet our desires are great pointers to help us unravel the beautiful mystery within. So take a look deep inside yourself and ask yourself, where do you want to be, do, and have in your life in 1 year from now? How about 3 years from now? Really sit with these questions. The more clarity you can discover today will impact on some level the quality of manifestation you attract to you in your future. Deciding what you truly want in this life can be challenging because it feels like you are defining who you are and who you are not. If and when we commit to deciding to do one thing, we can feel confined and that we are excluding 1,000 other possible options. The other reason why decisions are often so challenging in the time frame or deadline we form around them. If we had an inferior number of years to reach our desired outcome, we might become so relaxed about the whole thing that it wouldn't matter if any decision was ever made. The enlightened path to discovery here is that the limitations we feel around time and resources can work for us or against us. Don't have an abundance of money, love, time, creativity, or manifesting power, it can force us to get deeply creative. When we have consequences to our choices, a price tag we have to pay for every decision made or not made, we become even more reverent beings who are conscious choosing who we want to be and why we're here. When it comes down to reality, believe it or not, we have full choice as to if we entertain this belief in limitation or not. The mind will make up all sorts of stories about what is true and real and what is fiction and fantasy. Yet the truth is, we are living in an ocean of unlimited consciousness, intelligent energy that has no boundaries or borders. The mind likes to create limitations to play with and believe in some form of pressure around special decisions that have to be made. Yet the big discovery here is knowing we are all spiritual beings at the core. Our infinite spiritual nature contains the realization that there are no limitations, no death after the body is gone. Deep down, we know that we have an infinite resource of manifesting power inside us and an eternity of time to create anything we desire. There is no such thing as a person. There is no such thing as a person. There are only restrictions and limitations. The sum total of these defines the person. The person merely appears to be like the space within the pot, appears to have the shape and volume and smell of the pot. Mr. Gadada. To step into the realm of making enlightened decisions, we must choose to start with blowing up the mind. The mind is too small of a container for an enlightened decision to fit in. We must choose to drop the mind completely for an enlightened choice to find its way in. To reaching this place of enlightened insight, it isn't hard. It just takes patience and the willingness to see the infinite realm of possibilities that exist here now. We must choose to be willing to quiet the mind so it eventually stops its desperate, perpetual search for answers. To truly understand what an enlightened decision is all about, we might need to first clarify what an unenlightened decision entails. An unenlightened decision is one that is not reflective, introspective, or taking into consideration a deep love and respect for yourself. When you don't know who you are or what your heart truly yearns to manifest in this life, chances are high that you will struggle with every decision that comes your way. This doesn't mean in order to make the most enlightened decision, we need to contemplate for several hours when taking a risk or a leap in life. When we are in tune with our deepest life mission and purpose, we can make a huge enlightened life choice spontaneously and confidently. You can tell a decision is enlightened when it brings you more freedom, lightness, love, depth, or even more possible choices. An enlightened decision won't limit your future, yet rather will expand your consciousness in every dimension. Enlightened decisions are win-win solutions, where everyone benefits in some miraculous way. The most enlightened decision will manifest instantly when the mind is perfectly calm and silent. Here we become truly in tune with our hearts, aligned with our spiritual nature, and capable of feeling what our deepest needs are. The more we are in touch with our spiritual nature, our true soul connection to the universe, we will know what we most want to experience every day before we die. Knowing this connection, every decision-making experience becomes easier and happens faster all along the way. If and when you are afraid to make any decision that could possibly alter your normal, safe life circumstances, you'll notice that the mind is frozen in Fearville. It is terrified of change, thinking things will remain okay if I remain in full control and don't make any changes. If you're able to take one baby step out of this comfort zone, you won't end up molding and rotting in your cozy safety pit. An enlightened decision maker loves taking risks because they realize there truly is nothing to risk. They know they are a soul, a truly infinite being inside, and are excited to throw some spice into their life in order to really enjoy the ride. Those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Friedrich Nietzsche. To make that deep change and arrive in the liberating land of enlightened choice-making, think about those choices you've made in the past that have made your heart sing the loudest. What great risks have you taken that have manifested the most wonderful situation that is still impacting you today? By trusting the risks you have taken in the past, you'll relax deeper into yourself, realize that you are listening to your heart. This is one of the first steps to uncovering your real spiritual essence. Notice how you feel when you're coming from a place of intuition, inspiration, love, and trust. Just feeling into these qualities every day make it 1,000 times easier to become that empowered co-creator of your life and dreamy designer of your destiny. The most enlightened decision we can make will always be the one that brings the deepest relaxation into our bodies and minds. Most unenlightened decision will always be creating more stress, tension, anxiety, and fear inside. The unenlightened path is about basing our future on avoiding or possessing potential what if outcomes. If we are desperately trying to avoid something from manifesting in our lives, we are more likely going to attract it and end up being a closed hand for receiving what we truly want. If and when we are always attached to a particular outcome having to happen in order to be happy, we become so rigid that we cannot relax into the happiness when it arrives. Sometimes it seems impossible to make any decision at all in this life. We hit the super jackpot of challenging decisions and feel forced to make a major life choice where there is no evident win-win scenario. Our soul mate and life partner is drowning in a sea of circling hungry sharks. The best outcome might be what we believe is best for others, or another time it may be only what's in the best interest for ourselves. Sometimes we must choose that safe route that has been comfortable to, known to us in the past, while other times it's better to take that dangerous leap of faith into the unknown. What helps us to find the most enlightened decision when confronted with a real life challenging scenario is noticing where the choice is coming from. Is it coming from love and trust or fear and tension? The outcome that we manifest will be based on the springboard we jump from. Now, if we dive into the water out of pure fear, the sharks will smell that and eat us alive. If we dive in with passion, love, and trust, the two of us just might escape alive. To find out if our choice is love-based or fear-based, pay close attention to your chest. Notice how the energy around your heart responds when you think about the choice. Does it expand in love or contract in fear? Does it expand in love or contract in fear? Be aware of how grounded you are in this feeling and how it touches you emotionally as well. In this life, there is always a choice to be made. Even if we freeze and don't make any decision at all, this still ends up becoming a choice, and we must choose to surrender to our default destiny, letting the universe decide what's best for us. This freeze point in decision making is one of the most powerful transformational places we can arrive at. It is the point where pure choiceless awareness is found. It is the easiest place where we can create a breakthrough into our higher state of consciousness. When all thought processes come to a total stop, this is the moment when the radical, spiritually liberating experience of pure choiceless awareness comes into play. In this place, there is no separate chooser, no ego, or limited being in need of anything. There is simply a relaxation into the spiritual destiny that the soul is already aligned with. The highest states of consciousness are found in the most random and ordinary circumstance. An enlightening experience can show up in a simple urge to move to a new city, a new job, or change to a new relationship. It often happens when the mind becomes completely frozen and it cannot decide what the right decision will create the most happiness, success, and freedom. Ultimately, for the soul, it doesn't matter if your ego gets what it wants or not. The soul is more interested in where you are making each choice from. The choice is always coming from either a state of love or fear. Notice, what experience are you really trying to have in life anyway? If you could wave a magic wand, what would you honestly want your great destiny in this life to be? If you want spiritual freedom, you could choose to stay in the same house, at the same job, or with the same relationship that you've been in for years. As long as you're seeing what a sacred teacher the situation is, you'll be able to love where you are and feel truly free there. However, if and when you want financial freedom and a great material success, you may want to do something radically different. Move to that new town with the big job that has no financial ceiling to it. There are no right or wrong paths to take in this life. There are only choices we make and how truly we feel inside about them. The game of life is a game of boomerang. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy. Lawrence Scobleshin. It's good to know that every curse we perceive in this life is a deeply and eternal love in disguise. It can happen that we incur so much intense emotion and pressure around a decision that we tend to hesitate, procrastinate, or distract ourselves with doing meaningless, time-consuming tasks instead. When the mind is wrapped up in fear, we end up trying to avoid feeling the fear by doing things which are somewhat enjoyable and yet deeply mind-altering. When the mind is doing a crazy number on you, the best thing to do is to go for a walk, have some tea with a friend, relax with a good book, and let the whole process go. The approach is a conscious technique for trusting deeper in the universe, and it will show you what the best choice is when the timing is right. It may seem like you're avoiding making the decision, yet truly you're diving deeper into the trusting process. This conscious trusting method is powerful and effective as long as it doesn't turn into a lazy excuse for entertaining your addictions and avoid taking full responsibility for your life. The mind is a trickster and will do anything to avoid an experience it doesn't want to have. If this sounds like you, you must choose to watch your mind extra closely. Commit to only doing the most inspired actions that make your heart sing every minute of the day. And eventually, you'll start feeling really inspired and can relax enough inside to see clarity around which decision to make. Best of all, you'll have the deepest sleep when the day is over. Enlightened choices are naturally born from how we approach the circumstances we are already in. We may first need to discover that we have to stop trying to alter the outer world so that our inner world feels better. Or we may need to alter our outer world to give us access to the things we are really yearning for. However we approach this world, the discovery is to remain in contact with what we truly want. Breathe through the challenging feeling we're facing and relax into what cannot relax into on the inside. This practice opens the door to enter into that all-expansive state of pure choiceless awareness, which is the breeding grounds for the most enlightened perspective on reality. And we are supreme reality. All of us are. Is reality out there? Is that reality out there? Is it? Or is it an illusion? Is it an illusion or is it reality? That's where we get tricked. Well, it's real, it's a reality. But is it? See, it's where the mind wants us to be. The mind wants us to be out there. Doesn't want us to be in here. Wants us to be out there. And for the most part, we're out there. Once we are living in an enlightened perspective on reality, every decision we make will have this enlightened quality to it. The more enlightened decisions we can make, the more this level of consciousness develops, and the more amazing things that spontaneously manifest into our lives. It's good to understand here that what essentially makes one's perspective enlightened is that the mind is at ease. We are turned into our spiritual essence instead of the circus of thoughts circulating in our head. We are tuned into our spiritual essence instead of the circus of thoughts circulating in our head. From this place, every person and situation we encounter is felt through the heart, and not just judged and analyzed through the head. We feel everyone for the soul and pure conscious spirit they truly are. We see, live as completely fresh, new, and sacred in all its divine ways. And the mind gets into the habit of seeing everyone and everything is sacred. There is a deep recognition of what's good inside ourselves, a perpetual stream of gratitude, and then enlightened choices seem to naturally flow from every thought we have. By surrendering to the idea that everything is sacred, we realize we cannot make a mistake on this spiritual journey through this life. We know the universe is ultimately running the greatest show on earth. We begin to honor this truth, feeling more relaxed about our future, and this helps the mind to see and feel into things more clearly. In deep relaxation, we can feel aligned with the highest outcome the universe already has in store for our greatest possible future. We stop being afraid, worried about what will occur tomorrow, and are naturally spontaneous, quick to love, and feeling on purpose and creative. We are truly living in the now, every moment of our lives. This is a deeply surrendering space to live in. And when we can choose it each day, we become capable of designing our destiny confidently, choosing a life we would truly love to have. When we cannot trust the experience of surrender, we remain stuck in the mind, trying to control the negative or positive outcomes and how they might manifest. This deep level of surrender is the most important quality needed for enlightened decision-making skill set. The deeper we can surrender, the more confidence we can collect within ourselves and our ability to truly enjoy whenever we are at in our life. Any type of choice we make from this place can only lead us to creating more love, abundance, and a deeper relaxation into our lives. And please do not worry if you feel lost in your life. We often become lost because the people in society around us are generally, truly lost. Most people are not aware of their spiritual nature, consciously living their lives with a sacred, loving purpose. So, of course, they are going to feel lost. People tend to fall into the mind's comfortable habits of unhappy or unhealthy thinking, which then manifests all throughout their lives. As far as survival instincts go in this life, generally, we humans tend to go along with what the group decides. If we just get along with others, we won't get cast out and die. So we might end up allowing decisions to be made for us by the whole. If you're someone who tends to fall into this sheep following pattern, do not fret. There is soon coming a new experience of this life that is profound and amazing. There is a huge opportunity to make that decision to go deeper into your unique expression and give a voice to that creativity that wants to give birth inside you. It's not that following a group is wrong. The most important thing is that you feel free, empowered, and happy with whatever decision is being made through you. Just make sure you don't have any regrets on your deathbed. A life lived without regrets is a well-loved life. A life lived without regrets is a well-loved life. You can take one baby step towards knowing how to make enlightened decisions now by getting to know you better. Take an hour. Sometime. Write down a list of everything that you want in life. Include all the areas of life in your relationships, health, sex, travel, money, work, friends, family, home, spirituality, and love. Be specific. And please make this an exhaustive list where you don't exclude anything that you might want. After you've made your list, circle the top 5 things that make your heart sing the loudest. Then prioritize these 5 things in the order of which makes you feel the most relaxed, expansive, and rooted within your body. Read out loud these 5 things each morning and evening in the mirror, stating them in the past tense, as if you have already manifested them in your life. A lot of us try, right? Trying is one of those empty words which create feelings of lack and struggle in our lives. Just notice how lazy the word try really is. It goes nowhere. It signifies that you are not 100% committed to following through, doing what you set out to do, and need an escape route. Trying represents the attitude that you don't trust in your natural manifesting ability and divine connection to this universe. In the trying vibration, you are not allowing this all-powerful universe to truly support the effortless manifestation of your desires. It's one of the sneakiest leaks people have in their manifesting vibration. Every time you go into try mode, this universe responds accordingly with almost giving you what you want. With almost giving you what you want. The fact is that you cannot manifest anything until you eliminate this weak, half-assed energy from your life and replace it with the pure joy of trusting that you are a powerful, enlightened manifester. When you look at pure results in this life, truth is that you either do something or you don't do it. You either do something or you don't do it. The word trying weakens you because it just means that you're slightly invested in the possibility that it probably won't work out for you. It signifies that you are not going to move forward with your action plan and manifest your desires. The energy in trying contains the vibration of failure. So right now, pick up something with your hand like a pen, and then try to let it go. That might sound strange. So don't actually drop it. Just try to do it. Then what happened? It's a pretty frustrating experience. This is what happens in our lives when we say, I'll try to do X, Y, and Z. We generate a perpetually frustrating experience between what we want and what actually shows up into our world. In this mysterious game of manifesting, we have the choice to either commit 100% to focusing and feeling the end result we want, or committing 100% to focusing and feeling the end result we don't want. To try and focus on what we want or don't want is just saying to the universe that you are not willing to be responsible for instigating success or failure. By bringing more awareness to which side of the coin that we are focusing on, we can be clear about what results we're going to attract. When we make this rock-solid commitment to our awareness, knowing in each moment what we are focusing on, we have the power to send out a powerful request into this universe. And it knows that we are sincere about creating and receiving our desired outcome. The opposite of try is commitment, right? When we step into a truly committed vibration, it is received by the universe as a big yes signal to summon all its people and forces to support your vision full-heartedly. We never manifest anything alone in this world. The all-knowing universe always is assisting us in the manifestation of our goals, dreams, visions into the physical world. It's good to know that this universe requires crystal clarity of your intention to support you in your manifestation. Now, if and when you send out a wishy-washy trying energy, you'll get back wishy-washy results. And then the people of this universe start supporting you as a wishy-washy, irresponsible person. The people of this universe start supporting you as a wishy-washy, irresponsible person. There's nothing wrong with this. We all have our strategies for remaining powerless, and the path of playing the irresponsible game can only last so long before it's too painful. So the pendulum will eventually swing back to responsibility and knowing your true power. Then, when you emanate the feeling of strength, solidity, and commitment in your vision, you'll receive some pretty amazing results in return. So it's starting now to embrace a new way of being in your life. One in which you are creating massive integrity with yourself and the feeling of impeccability with what you say and what you do. Don't be an integrity Nazi with yourself or others. Be gentle and compassionate with yourself on this endless journey. You will always exist. And even after the body is gone, you will always exist. So create that true long-term relationship with yourself that you can look forward to for eternity. The key is to an effective, healthy relationship with yourself that works is only make commitments that you truly want and never when you don't want to. If you don't know what you want, just say, I don't know yet. This universe has to accept this answer and allow you to be in a state of the unknown. This is your life, and you get to do what you want to do with it. Stop attempting to make things happen. Stop attempting to making things happen by sticking your big toe in the baby pool. Instead, dive headfirst into the ocean of existence. You'll be amazed at how quickly things start manifesting. Life is amazing. It is a genius at making things happen quickly when you're open, willing, and ready for it. The less you try to please others and do it all, the faster things happen with grace and effortless ease. If you're someone who has been stuck in an old habit of saying you're going to do something and really mean it, yet somehow get distracted, tempted, pulled off course, and never happen to follow through, then you've got some digging to do. You'll need to dive deeper inside, relax into the core of your being, and do some uprooting. We suggest that you take a year to completely eliminate the word try and its attitude from your vocabulary. Meaning anytime you feel yourself about to say, I'll try, stop yourself. Rewind. Say something else with more backbone or nothing at all. When you stop saying the actual word, I'll try, you'll stop thinking it, feeling it, and release its energetically draining side effects. When you've rid all of the weak links in your verbiage, your manifesting vibration will skyrocket beyond the moon. Try, should, need to, have to, got to, and can't, right? Try, should, need to, have to, got to, and can't are all the top 5 to eliminate. Try, should, need to, have to, got to, and can't are the top 5 to eliminate. The less you use these words, the stronger your intention becomes, and the more magical your manifesting abilities become. I'd suggest that you just write those down, put them in bright red. Try, should, need to, have to, got to, and can't are what you should eliminate from your vocabulary. The less you use these words, the stronger your intention becomes, and the more magical your manifesting abilities become. Just sense how your body responds to eliminate I'll try from your life. It might make you nauseous or bring up deeper fear, yet when this word is eliminated, you'll see some radically outstanding changes. If you're normally a tryaholic, you guarantee you'll be pleasantly surprised in just a few days how dramatically different your life feels and how effortlessly those things you desire simply manifest into your life. Look into your past and review the types of situations where you were tempted to or have attempted to play the trying game. Perhaps when you were feeling overcommitted, overwhelmed, or rushing to get your to-do list done. In such a state of overwhelming panic, you might justify your actions and say, of course I'll try to do X, Y, and Z. People may often use I'll try because they are afraid of disappointing someone and think it's better to disappoint someone else rather than yourself. Yet, is this really true? What happens to your relationship with yourself, your integrity level, with your word, when you don't believe in you and never know if you'll ever follow through? Do you see the vicious cycle now? Today can very well be your day out of this toilet bowl and can shift your life into the most radical and awesome ways. The invitation now is not to try this assignment, yet to actually do it this time. Watch your language very carefully over the next 7 days. Do not think, feel, or speak the words, "I'll try." If you should slip, be very gentle and compassionate with yourself. And imagine a big red stop sign pops up in front of you. Take a deep breath, restate your sentence with, "I meant to say I will," or "I am committed to," "I'm going to," "I get to," etc. Only say it when you mean it. Otherwise, say that you don't know or cannot commit at this moment in time. Pay close attention to the type of situations, people, and circumstances that entice you to go down the "I'll try" road. And they're there. They're there. Notice what you're suckered in by in life, or tempted with that keeps you stuck to this old habit. If you're willing and open to it, go beyond and be free from trying anything, I would say, from this day forward. Watch how your relationships, finances, health, love life, personal goals dramatically shift. It's truly a miraculous thing to see the outrageous changes that will take place when you start being committed to who you are and what you want, and stop entertaining the notorious "try" word. And we don't realize it. You know, we just go along in life and use these words, and we don't even think about their frequencies. Or, unconscious when you use the word "try." You've probably caught yourself saying, "Well, I will try it and see what happens." See, what does it do? What does it do for you? Right? Ego mind. It kind of leaves a escape. And then you say, "Well, at least I tried." And see, the ego mind gets you to believe that, "I don't think I can do that." Because the confidence and trust in yourself and the universe isn't there. But I don't want to let Joyce down, so I'm going to do it. Right? Or I don't want to let Bill down, so I'll tell Bill I'll try and see. It's like someone saying to you, "Well, you got to try, right?" No. You either do or don't do. You don't try. I've found this out throughout life so far. When you say you're going to try something, the commitment and the power that you are isn't there. It's the ego mind. Someone will say, "Well, he tried or she tried, it didn't work out, but at least they tried," right? So we make it a good thing. Someone might say to you, "How do you feel about doing that?" And then you contemplate, just for a brief little bit. You say, "I don't think I can commit to that at this time." Okay? That's a lot different. You see a hill, let's just say it's not ominous, but a little mountain, right? And someone says to you, "Do you think you can climb up there?" On one hand, people say, well, I'll try it. I don't know if I can, but I'll try it. Instead of saying, I'll do that. You see the difference in the frequency? But see, I'll do that, and a lot of people get uncomfortable. Why? The ego mind dictates to them. What if you fail? What if you aren't successful on climbing this hill, mountain? What's going to happen then? So we're starting to suffer because the ego mind feels insecure and tries to convince you that you can't do it. Now, why? What's your heart conviction and the trust and confidence you have in yourself in this universe is the opposite of that. It's not arrogant, because that's ego. It's just through the heart mind. I'm going to do that right now. And then your feeling is, because remember, there's just experience. There isn't failure. There's just experience. There isn't winning. There isn't failing. There's just experience. There isn't knowledge. There's just experience. Experience is much more powerful than knowledge. And through experience, what do we gain? Knowledge. So it's experience. See how the words we use, without even tending to them, and we don't realize the frequencies that they give out and how they influence our lives. Someone says, I want to do that. Add now to the end of that. I want to do that now. See, because if you say, I'm going to do that, but not now, I'll do it later. How many times do we get sidetracked and we never end up doing it? I was going to do that years ago, but this happened and that happened, and I just never got around to it. Have you ever had people say to you, when I get around to it? Have you ever heard that? That's another saying in our civilization. Are you going to be able to do that? Well, yeah, I'm going to do it when I get around to it. So you know what I used to do is I made these wooden tuits. Right? They're little, look like a set of glass on, right? And on it, I wood burned on it. Here is your tuit. When I get around to it. Round to it. And I would hand those out to people every time I would be talking to someone who would say to me, when I get around to it. I would give them the round to it and say, here's your round to it. Now what are you going to do? I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy, slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out of the mouth, naturally. Remain still. Stay present to consciousness. Thinking all the time is not being conscious, if you can fathom that. Thinking all the time is not being conscious, if you can fathom that. Just take time to just be present to your body, to your breath, to your life. Your body is where your God resides, not your head. So keep dropping down out of your head and into your heart. Do not participate in the drama of the mind. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and following morning. We will return here tonight at 9 p.m. for the Time for Change call. And Thursday, September 1st, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Global Guided Meditation.